leading to last season's Penguins Cup championship in Single A.
What a meteoric rise. Just their third year in Class 1A. Penguins Cup champions for the first time ever. State runners-up in the 1A classification. Now they're in their fourth year of competing in Class A. Their divisional rivals, the West Allegheny Indians, did qualify barely for the playoffs last season, but took a forgettable first-round loss to another of the teams that usually plays here, the Quaker Valley Quakers. They haven't won a playoff round since before the pandemic, but there is hope in the person of new head coach Stephen Myers, who knows a thing or two about playing at the Baierl rink.
If you're talking about a guy who wanted to bring in for experience and to be able to build a program, it is Stephen Myers. Those years at Mars, then he went out to Shaler, was able to help out the Titans to get to where they are this season, coming into this season. So that's a nice resume to have if you're going to be building a team up. And West Allegheny making the playoffs last year, you cannot blame them because of the Quaker Valley time. I mean, listen, Quaker Valley was a team on a mission last year. Just ran into some speed bumps towards the end. It's something to behold, but guess what? It's a new season, Mr. Popchock.
Everybody's 0-0. Everybody has a clean slate. It's part of the fun of opening night, and we are thrilled to be back for year number 4 of PIHL Hockey Night Live on TenbandTV.
It's amazing. I'm not even supposed to be here tonight. I was actually going to be down at Ice Castle, but our friends at Mon Valley wanted to pick that game up, so the Mon Valley Independent covering that game down with Thomas Jefferson, taking care of those guys down there, so that's good. So we got a nice little doubleheader up here. I made the trip up 79 to join you and remind you that I am no longer mad at you for using the term antelopes. The plurality does not matter to me. So you're good, Mr. Popchock.
And on that note, the new season can officially begin, and it's about to begin. And the goaltending matchup should be an interesting one because both teams go into the new campaign with a lot of ifs at that position. Andrew Hetchko and Hunter Graves, the junior and the rookie respectively, are the two on the Avonworth official roster. And West Allegheny, they have 3 goalies to start the new varsity campaign: Skylar Pillardy-Roberts, Connor Pipes, and Luke Sofford, the senior. Pillardy-Roberts a junior, Pipes a sophomore. And we'll see who these coaches go with.
It looks like it's going to be Graves and Sofford in net.
And so for West Allegheny, Noah Figley takes the opening face-off against Austin Dudovsky of Avonworth. And who could forget Dudovsky going off in that Penguins Cup final last spring? 5 goals, including 4 in a row at one point in the Lopes' historic win over the Mars Planets, who we'll see later tonight. And that new goaltender, Sofford, makes his first unofficial save of the night, and we're underway. Year 27 of the PIHL. And playing this puck defensively in the corner, Maddox Lukadic for West Allegheny. Lopes take it over. From an angle, it's put wide of the goal mouth. Dudovsky missing from that spot. First player since Quaker Valley's Connor Quinn in 2014, by the way, to score 5 goals in a Penguins Cup championship game. Each of the last 2 instances it happened in the Class A contest. Lopes barely able to chip it beyond their own blue line and back to the away bench. Technically, even though both teams share this barn, Avonworth is the away team for our purposes.
That's the beautiful thing of the PIHL. Multiple teams sharing a rink. You never know who's at home, but you might have that home ice advantage either way.
Powell trying to thread the needle to Linus Jesenowski. Jesenowski unable to work his way through that sea of humanity. Got sandwiched a second before he could get to that puck, but play continues. Indians send it around to the opposite corner. Sam Klein defensively. The senior appearing in 19 games last regular season for Avonworth. Up towards center. Looking for it at his feet is Lukadic, and the senior forward is up the right wing boards. To the corner it comes for Chase Noel. Noel had a goal in the first regular season meeting between these clubs last season, as that shot is blocked from the left side. Avonworth sweeping last year's season series. A 6-3 win and a 5-3 decision in November and January, respectively. Both games here at the Baierl Toyota Ice Complex. Jack Figley the varsity newcomer, playing his first minutes as a varsity Indian early in a scoreless first period. Keeping it inside the line temporarily is one of Avonworth's newcomers, Owen Steers. 6 points for him in the PIHL Charities Tournament. John Wineland, the West Allegheny All-Star and captain this season, dispossessed. Avonworth counterattacking. Joey Moore returning in triumph to the Lopes this season, but he and his mates are offside.
Looks like we've got Benkin and Batco as your officials this evening. They'll take care of the lines and the thing if you're just joining in after the postseason, of course, joining us for the first time since the postseason. We go to 2 referees the entire year. We don't see that till the playoffs again.
Avonworth going forward off the face-off, and the trailing shot is denied by Sauford. Centering pass broken up by Lukadic. West A trying to clear the zone. Aldo Betta the third back to center. The sophomore forward over the attacking line for West A. And he's taken off that puck by Colin Anderson. Noah Figley in the corner. Played last season AAA travel hockey in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Playing for the Atlantic Coast Academy. And now back for one final varsity campaign. Offside, West A.
Just a little confusion at the line. Puck came out, got touched by the defender as he was backing up. But 13:31 return, yes, absolutely. And you're talking about that, having the opportunity to come back and play for your high school one more season, your senior year. Something to give an opportunity some of these kids get to have to play with their friends for 1 year, especially when they're in those travel teams.
A couple of this year's West A varsity Indians in that position. They took a year off, but now they're returning to the varsity roster. And as we said in pregame, they're greeted by a new head coach, Steve Myers. 14 years for Myers with that Mars program. Brought it to glory and spent the last couple rebuilding Shaler, as you said, Mitch.
Mm-hmm. And Shaler, of course, the big up-and-comers last year in AA, so see what they do this year.
There's some interesting PIHL realignment in the offseason. And from the corner, Colton Romano around the boards. And up it comes now to Luke Ermlich. Ermlich out in front, shot, score! Crisscross applesauce to Dadovsky, and who else but number 78 opens the account for the Avonworth Antelopes.
That was just too easy, opening up to the left to the right. Was able to get a pass across, and unfortunately for West Allegheny, Sauford was not able to get across and block that one, but it makes it 1-0.
Dadovsky last year, 18 goals, 34 points. We told you about his playoff heroics. And he scores the first Lopes tally of the 25-26 regular season with 13 minutes to go in period 1. PIHL Class A Gold Division doubleheader to begin the season tonight on TenbandTV. Hard shoulder check there on Lukadic, played out in front, and bracing himself there for Avonworth is the freshman, Hunter Graves.
It was a nice little attempt at a wraparound there.
Play to the opposite corner, giving chase for West A. Cole Milburn. Milburn behind the net. And we get a whistle as
that's off.
Lukadic was corralling that puck. Thank you, Brian.
That's not just off, it's nowhere near. It's all the way back on the back boards.
Well, however it got there, that's a break for the Lopes as it pauses play, and we'll get a face-off in Avonworth ice.
Even the net wants to go back on vacation, Mr. Popchock. I know hockey season leads to the next weather levels.
For a while, it looked last week like fall was truly back here in western Pennsylvania, and boy, was the joke on us.
I walked out of my house yesterday, realized it was 85 degrees, and then I was just about done with it.
81 today in Warrendale, which is where we are tonight for the high. Lopes with his puck across the line, steers with it. He finds metal, but not mesh. Cooper Powell, the exciting all-star senior, trying to keep it in. 26 goals, 49 points for him. Top 4 in all the major offensive categories, en route to that Penguins Cup title for Avonworth. Powell has this puck at center, but an unforced error allows Noah Figley to play it deep inside the Avonworth zone. Lopes recover, and they will ice this puck, it appears, with 11:37 remaining.
Just an innocent play there along the blue line. You had a defender just backing up a little bit, and he was just tapped off his stick, and he was able to come back around the bench side and bring it in. But, of course, you had that second level of defense that was able to help him out behind him.
Brendan Hennigan to take the face-off, and he wins it cleanly from Talon Zandona. A couple of seniors going at it in that left circle. Jack Dolan across the line. Dolan, part of Chris Chiasano's leadership group this season, playing it from the corner to the point. That shot taken by the Avonworth Antelopes is blocked. That's Anderson firing that puck. Meanwhile, at the other end, a loud save made by Graves on the hard shot at the side of the cage. Noel let her rip. Joey Moore from his own corner. One of the Avonworth players that took last year off of high school hockey, played 24-25 in the uniform of the Pittsburgh S-Mark Stars, as Sawford covers at the other end. Sawford actually debuted last year, late last regular season for West Allegheny, picked up an 18-save victory at the War Memorial over Richland Cambria on February the 4th, and did play in the playoff game against Quaker Valley, allowing 3 goals on 19 shots. Ersta from the high slot area couldn't hang on. Lopes recovered. Jackson Pukailo floats it on net, and Sawford has to cradle that one.
Nice little save there by Sawford. He's a little undersized for a netminder at the PIHL level, but he definitely makes it up in his speed. That was an easy, nice little dump-on shot that ended up in the WA logo.
And the Lopes off the draw make it 2-0. Blinking, you missed it. Dodovsky will have another, and he will slap hands and leave the celly line for the Lopes, who double their advantage with 10:34 to go in the first. I've heard of quick hands, Mitch, but that was ridiculous.
I mean, how do you follow up a 5-goal performance in the Penguins Cup Finals? And that's how you do it right there. You just have to build and continue to grow, and that was a great little shot.
Dodovsky, one of 12 seniors in this year's Avonworth hockey class of 2026. The Lopes aren't done yet, folks. They're going to chase another one, and they've got the volume of players and the talent to do it, certainly. Indians in a 2-goal hole early on, trying to play that puck in front of the scorer's table, but here comes Dodovsky. Dodovsky nudged off that puck by Noah Figley. Lopes recover. Turnaround try by Dodovsky. Glanced off a couple of bodies and ricochet to the near side. Randy Bevan to Pukailo. Pukailo gets it deep. Avonworth changing on the fly. Lukadic up to center. Lopes able to reset quickly. And ducking around that check there at center is Betta. Wineland getting it deep. Wineland had a hat trick the last time these two teams met in this building. And indeed, we are going to get the first penny power play of the season with just over 9.5 to go in period 1. And that power play will belong to the West Allegheny Indians.
I apologize. It is not Hunter Graves in net. It is Andrew Hetchko. He is wearing Danny Mac's 91. I was trying to figure out why that 1 was off on me. The 1 was standing out, but it wasn't. So,
well, in any event, Hetchko, the junior,
yep,
and varsity debutant of September 30th last year, albeit as a skater, has only had to make one save thus far. We'll see if things change on this West State power play with the Indians down by 2. Tommy Slomsky just barely able to keep that puck inside the line, or did he?
Bringing it out.
This USA Hockey crew begs to differ.
That's another thing about these early season games. Sometimes the uniforms don't come in time either. So or maybe you left something at home. So, Danny Mack, he graduated last year. Of course, his jersey's probably still hanging around. He might even be here this evening. I don't know. But it's available.
Danny practically lived in that jersey the last couple of years. He was truly the Iron Man, playing every minute of every game for the Lopes en route to that championship last season.
Even games after he graduates.
Yeah, there you go. The legacy continues. Dolan floats that puck over the net in a penalty-killing role here. 1:25 to go in the man advantage. Midway through this first period, Lopes trying to protect a 2-goal lead. Bevan in the box for interference as the Indians try to set up their power play. Wineland, a 20-goal scorer last year, 41 points. He had 9 power play tallies, which put him among the Class A regular season leaders. And the West State captain, with his back to the plate, gets it off to Slomsky. Slomsky through a crowd, and Hetchko makes that save with a blocker. Played out in front, steered aside by Jesenowski. Lopes get the clear. 45 to go in the penalty.
I like the play by Figley down in the corner, but he was able to get around, but he just dumped one across the center instead of waiting for the forward to come down.
Again, Hetchko dressed as a skater in his varsity debut at the beginning of last season. Did play one preseason game in goal for the Lopes during the PIHL Charities Tournament. Settled down behind the West State net by Hetchko's counterpart, Luke Sauford, and fired wide. Did that go in? No, it did not. It was kept out somehow and played off the back of the net. The Lopes nearly cashing in shorthanded. Ermlich with a steal from behind the net. Sauford. Indeed, the team's back to 5 aside. Sauford making that save from an angle on Ermlich. Ermlich setting up the first Avonworth goal earlier this evening by Dadovsky. Officially, Dadovsky from Ermlich and Jimmy Shields, followed by a goal that's being credited to Randy Bevan unofficially, but it was Dadovsky who led the Selly line, so perhaps that ruling will change. Malsh. Now that both teams have changed personnel, trying to exit his own area, might have hung out of that puck a hair too long, pardon me. Sandana behind the Avonworth net. And cross-checking indicated with 6:42 remaining, so if Lopes fans wanted an even-up call, they got one soon enough.
Logan Dietrich.
And so now last year's #1 power play from the Class A regular season goes up against a West State penalty kill that has something to prove this season under their new head coach. Lopes 36.5% on the man advantage in 24-25. And they've got a 2-goal lead to play with early as it's sent to the corner for Steers. Steers trying to pinball it off the back of Sauford. Nothing doing. Kept inside barely by Cooper Powell. Dadovsky from the circle. Side of the net. One-timer. Oh, what a save there by Sauford.
I'm saying watch that right to left. He was able to get across nicely, be able to get a glove on that. Make the good save from the circle. Keep it a 2-0 game.
Like you said, not the biggest kid on the ice, but he can move laterally. Of that much we're certain. Steers from behind the cage. 1:25 left on the power play. One-timer, Powell couldn't hit the target. And he was open, too.
I think Sauford got a glove on that.
Wineland will send it the length of the ice.
I think he got a little bit under and just flicked it over.
Cooper Powell maybe wants that one back as Steers with speed brings it over the attacking line. Steers trying to set up Dolan, but a good read there with a stick by Nate Athanas. Steers gets it back. Off-wing shot. Athanas in the right place at the right time. Dolan from the corner to Steers on the half wall. 45 to go on the power play. Powell keeps it alive. Right side, Dadovsky. Deflected in front. Aiden Antel. Too heavy for Dadovsky. Chasing shorthanded, Zandana for West A. He gets taken down. Play continues with half a minute to go in the Avonworth power play. It's poked at, it's loose, and put in! Sauford gets overzealous. Cooper Powell does nuzzle that nylon on the penny power play, and these pretzels are making me thirsty. Avonworth, the champs, in midseason form already with 5 minutes to go in period 1 of game 1.
And it looks like Talon Zandona is going to go off for, I don't know if he's going to call this unsportsmanlike conduct. He picked up a glove and threw it into the bench, the opposing bench during that play.
And Noah Figley is getting an explanation from this USA Hockey crew on perhaps that. So the Lopes are 1 of 1 on the power play. They lead by 3. And Steve Myers, did he take his timeout, Mitch?
I think they're just waiting to get this cleared up, trying to explain what the penalty's about to both sides to get a little bit of extra time. It was an unusual one. I've never seen somebody pick up a glove with their stick and then throw it into the opposing bench. So.
First time for everything.
Yeah.
Joey Moore. That shot blocked by Slomsky. To the corner. Played defensively by Lukadic, out of action. And that will be the only penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Zandana, a 2-minute minor. And so Avonworth has a chance to really take a chokehold of this one early on. They got the 2 goals, unofficially 2 goals from Dadovsky, and most recently Cooper Powell with a tap-in or a tip-in, whichever you prefer, on Avonworth's most recent power play. Powell unassisted is what we have officially, at least for now. Mulch from his own corner after West A cleared their zone. Outletting for Bevan, but it's picked off by Figley. Figley put it right off Mulch, and it bounced right conveniently to Joey Moore. Bevan not playing that puck with a high stick. I'm not sure about that one, but at any rate, play continues. West A gets another clear. Ermlich, near side. Brendan Hennigan dropping it back for Bevan. Bevan from the circle puts a body into Slomsky, and Slomsky is not getting up. Lopes played out in front. One-timer saved by Sauford, and now officials will blow the whistle, and Slomsky will get some medical attention here with 4 minutes to go in period 1, 55 to go on the second penny power play of the game for the Lopes. If you love watching your team on TenbandTV, there's no better way to support it than buying a sponsorship for the 25-26 season. Now until Halloween night, Friday, October 31st, our preseason special has been extended, and it allows you to put whatever ad purchases you make toward a broadcast of your favorite team. Quantities are limited, and broadcasts will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Be sure to email sales@tenbandmedia.com before the next puck drops and tell us your team. Clean face-off win by the Lopes. Powell on the Avonworth power play. Near side for Steers. Dolan behind the net, trying to tuck it in behind Sauford. I'm not sure if that was a deliberate Michigan or what that was from Dolan behind the net, but it didn't work. And so the net, as a result, is dislodged, and we get a face-off outside the zone. Wineland going against Dudovsky, another face-off win for Avonworth. Near side steers. Final half minute of the latest Lopes power play. Powell behind the cage. Near side Dolan. Up to center for Steers. Steers, left circle. Off the iron. And right out to Cooper Powell. Dudovsky, the alternate captain. Reverses the play to Dolan. Now West A, if you're looking for some light at the end of the tunnel, there's a penalty kill. Teams back to 5 aside. Still a 3-0 lead, though, for Avonworth. And the Lopes have this puck deep in Indians ice. Played out in front for Steers. Good stick there by Betta. Steers protecting this puck for Dudovsky. Dudovsky with a pickle stab there to Dolan. Dolan unable to bank it off of the body of Sauford. To the point it comes, and off the stick of Bam Smallwood. Correction, Cooper Powell. 20, not to be confused with 28. And playing it for West A is Betta. Wineland from the near boards. Easy stop there for Hetchko. And that's dumped all the way in on Sauford, who had to stop that puck and keep play moving. Outletted beyond Figley. Nick Erster retreating. Around the boards for Jack Such, making his official varsity debut tonight for Chris Chiasano. Such from center with the dump in. Athanas, the first one on it, with under 2 to go in the period. Turnover to the Lopes. Such firing on Sauford, and Sauford has to freeze it.
Just a well-done play by Avonworth down here. The whole plan is to make sure that you keep at least 2 to 3 guys on the puck at all times. I've watched defenders drop down from the line to the top of the circle on the opposite side, to forwards dropping back to the blue line as the play's starting to come across. So it's a really good setup here by Chizawano.
West Allegheny offside after the face-off.
Yeah, he has him really dialed in today, Mr. Popchock.
Absolutely. The Lopes, as I sort of said earlier, seem to just be picking up right where they left off, humming along. The only real blip on their radar in the preseason was that Mars won their little revenge game, if you will, in the PIHL Charities Tournament to begin round robin play, and that was enough to keep the Lopes from moving on in that tournament. Mars eventually eliminated in the quarterfinal round by Pittsburgh Central Catholic, but more on that later tonight. Such plays it on his backhand. And Lukadic will get it deep for West A, approaching the final minute of period 1. Moore, right side. Hennigan over the line. Off the rafters it'll go. Face-off coming up in West A territory.
It's a nice little play there. West A still hanging in there, playing tough on Avonworth. Avonworth with the size advantage out on the ice also, not just the scoreboard, but they at least overtower them by 2 to 3 inches on each space.
And the way they fed off that size advantage, they really threw their weight around in the playoffs last year. I remember those games. They were very keyed up for those games physically, and I think that overwhelmed and maybe caught by surprise to a point some of the teams they were playing. 40 seconds to go. And this puck will glance off the other rafters inside Avonworth real estate. Face-off coming up to Hetchko's left.
Sometimes it's not about having the advantages that you may have in a league. You may have a really big scorer. You may have somebody who can fly out there on the ice. But if you know how to use the advantages that you do have, i.e. the size that Avonworth has out there, you'll be very well off.
Ermlich that close to connecting with Shields on that lead pass. Would have been a partial breakaway, but it was not in the stars. Bevan with it. He fires on goal, and Sauford denies him. A tough start for the senior Luke Sauford, but of late trying his best not to let that other shoe drop or skate, as the case may be.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm noticing here with Sauford is his poise. He is maintaining his mentality in the net. You know, you can sometimes let it get away whenever you've given up 2-3 early in the first period, but he seems to be standing pretty strong in the net.
One last chance for Wineland, perhaps. His backhander is stopped by Hetchko. Indians keep it inside the line. Carter Glasspool to the corner. 3 seconds left. Wineland out in front, but the Lopes are all over it. And thus ends the first period here at the Baierl Toyota Ice Complex with the champs leading West A. Avonworth 3, Indians nothing. He's Brian Mitchell. I'm Matt Popchock. PIHL Hockey Night Live on TenbandTV, presented by Legacy Lanes.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh.
Gonna get up, pretty baby. Gonna get out of this rocking chair.
Hewitt creating space. Hewitt turning. Scoring! Marshall Hewitt has won the Penguins Cup championship for the Seneca Valley Raiders with 12:29 to play in triple overtime, and don't ever play Lady of Spain again.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's health insurance marketplace. How can I help you?
I need help paying my health insurance premiums.
You came to the right place. Penny gets you the lowest costs on high-quality plans.
Enroll now at penny.com. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Legacy Lanes is a 24-lane bowling alley on Curry Road in the South Hills, offering open play leagues and, above all, family fun. And you'll want to bring the family to Strikes for Safety Saturday, October 4th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Enjoy bowling while supporting the community heroes at Baldwin Volunteer Fire Rescue. Touch a truck for the kids, 250 Miller Lite drafts for the parents, and more. This Saturday, strike up some fun for a great cause at Legacy Lanes. With Brian Mitchell, Matt Popchock, the side switch has occurred. Opening night continues here at the Baierl Toyota Ice Complex inside the Galaxy Rink, where the Lopes still are in their own solar system. To wit, Cooper Powell goes 5-hole. Have another hot dog. It's 4-0 Avonworth.
Okay, I'll go get one. No, it's all right. Just another one he brought in nice slow and was able to deke out the starting tendy Sauford. Unfortunately, Sauford just got caught off guard, flat-footed, and wasn't able to get right, left, and kick that one out. 16:46 remaining, 4-0 Avonworth.
And I was about to say, if West Allegheny could somehow just get a break, get a bad turnover, an unlucky bounce for Avonworth, something to go their way to tilt the ice and get that next goal, then, you know, that big mountain they left themselves to climb doesn't look so big, but 20 seconds in, Cooper Powell, one of the most prolific scorers in PIHL Class A, makes the point moot.
Now sorry.
I was just going to say, first period shots, by the way, were 10-4 in favor of the Lopes.
Yeah, now you get to see what your team is made of this early in the season. You get to see where their heads are going to be, what you're going to work on in the first practice after this game. You know, get out there and see what how they react to getting down this quick. For Avonworth, it's just, what do you want to do here? Do you want to try some new stuff out? Do you want to see what you can work on? And I don't know. We still got about 34 minutes in this game. Let's find out.
And a scrap breaking out just inside the West Allegheny blue line as Lukadic's helmet was dislodged. Anderson in the thick of it for Avonworth. And Lukadic very adamant as he pleads his case to this USA Hockey crew, literally up in arms as he's about to get sent off here, and he's trying to explain to his coach what exactly happened and still visibly frustrated as he sits in the sin bin.
Coincidentals 5-on-5. Lukadic and Anderson.
52 seconds in, nothing changes. Face-off in West Allegheny ice. PIHL second of the night, officially from Jesenowski and Steers. 14 seconds into period 2.
They're discussing on the bench for Avonworth. They were to break off, and now we've got a face-off.
We talked in pregame about the voluminous coaching staff that Steve Myers brings with him to West Allegheny. A lot of personnel on that home bench tonight here at the Baierl Complex. Fletcher Krause, Mason Fisher, and Kyle Martin per the official roster, the assistants under Myers this year. Chris Chiasano on the other bench, assisted primarily by Brian Morrison. Lopes crossed the line. That shot from up high blocked. Wineland from his own boards, pushed from behind by Klein. And Wineland will reverse the play, but ends up turning it over to Pukailo. Ermlich unable to get it to the point. Lopes had someone backing up the play, though. Unforced error gives this puck to Betta. Bodies continuing to fly in Indians territory early in period 2, with Avonworth having added to its comfortable lead. Slomski, two-line pass, Wineland unable to control it. It will not be icing, however, as both teams go for a change. And with room to maneuver is Such. Such hits the brakes, going toward goal and forcing the save from Avonworth is Moore. West Allegheny gets to clear. Richard Mulch hitting the brakes and out to the scorer's table. Bevan blasted up high. And icing on the Indians. That second Avonworth goal of the night, by the way, still for the time being credited to Randy Bevan. At the time, we thought it was Dudovsky's second of the night, so again, we're going to keep an eye on that. Save made off the faceoff by Sauford, and so we'll do it again from the same spot.
Quickly, the penalties calling. Anderson, Avonworth cross-checking. Maddox Lukadic, a roughing minor. Both at 52 seconds.
That's the way you do it, I think. Just send them both, put a foot down, send the message right away if you're the official. Shields. Near side Dudovsky, and he forces a stick save by Sauford. Dudovsky bumped off that puck, which comes free to Romano. And we get another whistle here, pardon me. The coincidental minors have come and gone, but the Lopes are going back to the penny power play for the third time tonight.
Zandana.
He's seen a lot of the inside of that penalty box, it seems.
But the officials are doing the right thing here. They're letting them know that, yes, we're going to call this a little tighter. It is getting a little out of control. West Allegheny starting to react. Avonworth not letting up on the hitting. So they're going to make sure they call this right down the line. So if they see something, they're going to call it.
Lopes on the man advantage with a commanding lead early in period 2. Linus Jesenowski, cross ice. Powell with a little shot pass. Good save there by Sauford to cut down the angle. Dolan from the corner. To the point. Steers his shot blocked, and that hurt Figley. Figley grabbing his backside after taking one for the team on the West A penalty kill. Powell looking for space. Deflected off of the body of Sauford. Oh, what a save there at the far post. Good anticipation by the West A senior. And what a play there by Powell to keep it inside the line. He goes to Dodowski. Dodowski pinballs it off a West Allegheny skate, and it comes to the far boards. Midway through this Avonworth power play, it's been all Lopes, and Sauford and company are hanging on for dear life. Powell from the high slot to the vacant corner. Dolan looking for Dodowski. Instead, he'll go to Jesenowski. Jesenowski denied from the off wing. Shot from distance misses the net. Owen Steers unable to hit the 4x6. Powell with it one more time through a crowd. That save made by Sauford. Sauford trying to generate some momentum for his team here by making some big PK saves. West A with work to do with 12 minutes to the ice cut. Steers surveying the play. 15 left in the power play. Powell waiting, watching. Doesn't shoot it yet. Top of the circle, side of the net. That went off the side of the post vis-a-vis Jesenowski. And finally, West Allegheny, which was bottled up in its own zone for 1:56 seconds of that power play, exhausts the area.
That's the thing about the long change, especially in the second period. You get trapped down there, there's no way of getting out, especially if a team can get you into a deep cycle like Avonworth had.
Well, to West A's credit, the Lopes have nothing to show for all that zone time. It remains a 4-0 hockey game. But the shot disparity continues to climb. 19-4 now in favor of the Lopes. Avonworth, last year winning their first Penguins Cup championship in the brief 6-year history of their varsity program. Established in 2019 under Stephen LaShawn and company. Taken over a couple seasons ago by Chris Chiasano. Such from the half wall takes a hard check there from Logan Dietrich. From behind his own net, Luca Fayad making his varsity debut for West A. Turned over to Such. Save made there by Sauford, and with help from his defense, he'll freeze it for a faceoff.
Those are the type of saves, especially on that power play you were talking about. You get that momentum, you start to build that momentum, and the bench is watching that. You get those long runs where you have to make save after save, but you're up to task, and they're seeing that. As soon as they come out, they have that little extra pep in their step. That's something to work for, that you're not giving up out there. Your killers are not giving up out there. It was a great run there by West Allegheny. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Wineland trying to create separation. He goes to goal. He shoots. He's stopped. It's still loose. Oh, what a play there to recover by Hetchko. And Hetchko is still trying to freeze that puck inside the blue paint, and eventually he does, but not for a lack of effort by Betta and by Noah Figley, who got involved trying to jam it in as well. And we've got activity after the whistle. Klein getting involved with Figley.
That was a nice little spurt there by the Indians, showing a little life in on offense. Wineland had to fight off the defender as he was coming in to get that shot off, and then the second chance was just a great shot across. They're not going to call anything here, which is fine. I agree with, because that was all in, I'll call it all in good fun down there. There's a lot of intensity going down to that point, so good play there by the Indians.
Kiefer Rubalcaba, number 17 for the Lopes, student section favorite from last season, seeing the ice in this second period. Wineland chasing this puck one more time. Wineland cross ice, the pass too heavy for Figley. Sent to the point for Athanas. Lopes back to center. Ermlich. Figley without a stick as Ermlich dumps this puck. Under 10 to go to the ice cut. And Betta turned that puck over. West Allegheny has to start over from deep in its own end. Figley still without a stick. Gives Dolan a little what for as the Lopes have this puck deep. To the point it comes to Jack Dolan. Looking for a tip in there was Jesenowski, and we're going to get a penalty coming up here.
It's going to be on Avonworth.
Whistle sounds on the icing call. And they're calling 4-4, and finally Dolan gets the memo. Roughing the indication against the Avonworth senior and 2025 PIHL All-Star.
I'm interested to see what happens on this power play. The little momentum that they built up on the last couple shifts leading out of that last penalty kill, getting an advantage here. Let's see how they respond.
We've seen our share of strange things happen here on TenbandTV, and there are no 4-goal plays in hockey. You got to start somewhere, and the Indians do indeed need a push here of some kind on special teams. They won't get the territorial advantage, though, for this first face-off of the power play, which is controlled by the Lopes shorthanded. Jesenowski entering the zone.
Yeah, they iced the puck on that last play.
And there you have it.
There's another one coming. It's going 5-on-3.
A 2-man advantage for West Allegheny, a double penny power play with 9:08 remaining in period 2. Anderson will get the gate.
And this one will come back all the way. Should come all the way down, yes. To the right. Now the onus is on the Antelope. Try to step up here.
I see what you did there.
I didn't even try anything. I was going to try to put in my 2 cents, but okay.
I'd say you
double
just
penny
did.
power play, but okay. The onus is on the Antelope to show up this West Allegheny advantage.
Approaching the midpoint of this period and opening night game, and if West Allegheny does have a pulse, they got to find one here. As good an opportunity as they've had to tilt the ice in this contest. A 5-on-3 advantage for another minute 15. Lukadic over the line, leading Noel. Noel finds metal but not mesh. Rebound right to Figley on the half wall. To the point for Slomski. Slomski to Wineland. Wineland firing and a save there by Hetchko. Again, Figley with the rebound. Outside the zone. Miscommunication there with Slomski. And West A has to tag up.
55 seconds remaining in the double.
Lukadic from the corner takes a hit, but for the moment keeps the puck. Now he's taken down as Noel plays it for West A out in front to Slomski, who catches up to it in the nick of time. Wineland dropping for Slomski. Slomski on goal. Loud save by Hetchko. The rebound is still on the goal line. It's sitting there. And boy, did Hetchko get a generous whistle there with 30 to go on the penalty to Dolan.
Yeah, Bankin lost track of that puck down low, and probably the black part of the Avonworth jersey wasn't able to see it as it was laying in the crease. It bounced out for a couple seconds. It was covered temporarily, but unfortunately the whistle was there. He lost track of it. And 7:53 remaining, 30 seconds remaining in the first minor here.
And the net behind goaltender Hetchko, as we get a better look for the first time tonight at that Danny Mac legacy jersey, if you will, is being adjusted. West A wins the face-off. Still attacking 5-on-3 as Wineland misses the net.
Net off again. That net's been trouble all day.
24 to go on the penalty to Dolan. Indians trying to get that goose egg off the board here in period 2. Opening night 2025-26. of PIHL Hockey Night Live on TenbandTV. Slomski's shot denied calmly by Hetchko. Wineland with it from the circle. Steered out in front and a save made there right on the doorstep by Hetchko, and the follow-up was biffed by the Indians. That save made by Hetchko with 10 to go on the conventional power play, and the Lopes look like they're going to survive this. Jesenowski through center, and Avonworth has dodged the special teams bullet. And a steal by Jesenowski. Jesenowski to the cage. Baierl. 5-0 Lopes. 7:04 to go in period 2, and mercy does not exist in this dojo.
Hey, you came off of the 5-on-3. You were able to regroup. I believe West Allegheny was attempting to try to have a line change in there, and the puck just broke loose, and Jesenowski breaking through the circle and just fired one on goaltender Sauford, who, for all accounts, hadn't seen a shot in over 3 minutes and was just paying attention, and wasn't his fault. It was a nice little shot high. 5-0.
West A had some good looks on the 5-on-3, but unable to capitalize, and next thing you know, boom, it's in the back of Sauford's net once again. It's been that kind of first night for Steve Myers on that West Allegheny bench. Athanas up the boards. Shields not going to get there before Athanas does. 6.5 to the ice cut. Jesenowski's first of the season, just under 10 minutes into period 2. Anderson taken out by Zandana at the blue line. Play continues as Sauford lets that puck deflect off his stick. Anderson keeps it in to the corner. Shields unable to flag it down. Betta up for Zandana. Zandana sends it in behind the Avonworth goal. Lopes get the loose puck back to center. Shields taken off it quickly by Athanas. Dietrich with a chip in. Colin Anderson up to center for Avonworth. Anderson 1-on-2. Trying to get around Lukadic, and eventually does. Somehow is able to retain this puck. Ermlich giving chase for the Lopes. And this pass goes awry of its intended target, Nick Ersta. Ersta has to go fetch with Dietrich bearing down on him. Outletted for Such. The underclassman getting a little more ice time now for Chris Chiasano. Turnover to Figley. Figley in behind the Lopes net. Klein shouldered up high. Avonworth locating this puck with under 5 to go in the period. Klein will defer to Hennigan, and Brendan Hennigan sends it to the corner to the right of goaltender Sauford. Romano unable to clear it. That shot from the point missing everything and everybody. Wineland trying to get position on Klein, and he'll use the glass to his advantage. But he will ice this puck in the process. Lopes earn the O-zone faceoff, pardon me.
Yeah, a couple really nice opportunities for the Indians down on this end. As, you know, a puck was misplayed across to their own bench. They were able to pick it up, come in on a 2-on-1. Unfortunately, the trailer was tied up as he was going to the net looking for the shot. Those are things you can work on. You can start to work and try to become a little bit more fluent in the practices and during the game. So it was good to see for West Allegheny down 5-0, trying these things, giving these opportunities, and trying to put something together.
You know what kind of coach Steve Myers is. He has all those Penguins Cup rings from his Mars Planets heyday, 4 in fact, as a coach, and a couple of state titles as well. He's not going to let this team just pack it in the rest of the way.
If you don't, you need a reminder, the banner's down to our right.
Indeed. And some new banners in this building as well. Off to our extreme left, we see the Avonworth Penguins Cup Championship banner. First time we're able to use that sentence on a broadcast. And Seneca Valley, speaking of firsts, their first state championship banner hanging to the left of the Avonworth banner next to one of the two scoreboards in this Galaxy rink.
I'm going to touch on that in a second with the Avonworth banner, but we'll go on.
Bevan trying to lead it on for Pukilo. Pukilo escorted by Athanas into the corner boards. Lukadic intercepts that puck for West A and floats it to center. Dolan waiting at his own blue line. Pukilo re-entering the offensive zone. He fires, and a standing save made there, Barrasso style, by Luke Sauford. At the other end, Hetchko will let Anderson restart the rush for Avonworth. West Allegheny in the middle of a change. Rubalcaba up to Ermlich. Ermlich, left circle, scoring! Luke Ermlich goes bar down. The Lopes have a tutty, and there's 2:42 to go in period 2.
It's a nice little shot up corner, and I want to make a quick note about what we were talking about earlier while we have a second here with Avonworth. You look at their banner, and we'll eventually get a shot of that for you guys, but not only is it their varsity Penguins Cup Championship, to the right and left, their junior varsity division Tier 3 championship from 22, and then on the other side from 22 is the middle school champions from that year. So you're talking about your entire team here. You're celebrating your entire team, your association, not just the varsity level, which is a really cool detail.
How does that one song go? Started from the bottom, now we're here. That's how. When you're one of these Class A programs, that's how oftentimes you have to build. You got to build from the bottom with those strong middle school and JV programs, the feeder programs, if you will, and grow that varsity talent. And the Lopes did it the hard way, and they reaped the benefits last season.
Yeah, look in the last 4 or 5 years, and you can see what teams are in AAA right now. The ones that grew from the bottom, and they're feeder systems. They're young kids in the school, and they created the culture inside. Those are the teams that are going to make it up to AAA eventually.
No doubt. Final minute 45 before the ice cut. Avonworth 6, West Allegheny nothing. Luke Ermlich with his first career varsity goal after scoring a pair of those and finishing his preseason with 4 points altogether. Lopes corralling this puck, trying to activate the running clock, and they nearly did. Sauford has it right on the goal line. We never saw the official point to the net, so this is going to be a save for Luke Sauford and a face-off in West A ice.
Well, there's no quit in Sauford. I'll give him that.
And what can you do, really, if you're Sauford, except learn from it and get better? As we both said, it's a long season at the risk of stating the obvious.
Well, the good news is from this one's going to be on film that they're available to watch on Tenband if they wanted that footage to see. And they could have that conversation around, well, this is how this goal was scored. Well, what did you do here? Where did you step in there? Go ahead.
Jimmy Shields, meanwhile, will score the 7th Avonworth goal, and we will have a running clock on opening night with exactly 60 ticks to talk in period 2. Avonworth 7, West Allegheny nothing. Shields with a multi-point night for the Lopes. A pretty pass there to Shields right between the circles, and an even prettier shot to beat Sauford. Ersta from behind his own net. Milburn sends it to the corner. Lopes one more time. Ermlich trying to go up ahead to Shields. He can't. Backhand try by Dadovsky will miss. Under half a minute left in the second period. Glass pull, up but not out for West A. Glass pull, second time's the charm. 15 seconds left. A little bit of a risky pass there to Shields, but Dietrich gets it to the corner. In any event, Romano took the hit, lost the puck. And so it's time to cut the ice at the Galaxy rink inside this Baierl Toyota Ice Complex. Avonworth Antelopes 7, West Allegheny Indians nothing in PIHL Class A Gold Division action. Back with more from Warrendale in a little bit. It's PIHL Hockey Night Live, opening night on TenbandTV, presented by Craft House Stage and Grill.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh.
Gonna get out, pretty baby. Gonna get out of this rocking chair.
Hewitt creating space. Hewitt turning. Scoring! Marshall Hewitt has won the Penguins Cup championship for the Seneca Valley Raiders with 12:29 to play in triple overtime. And don't ever play Lady of Spain again.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's health insurance marketplace. How can I help you?
I need help paying my health insurance premiums.
You came to the right place. Penny gets you the lowest costs on high quality plans.
Enroll now at penny.com. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart. Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every.
Do you have a favorite leather couch or chair that's damaged? Has your car, boat, or RV's interior seen better days? Maybe your business's furniture or your private aircraft's interior could use a little love. You're probably thinking replacement is going to be expensive. And what happens to the damaged piece after you throw it out? Does it just end up in a landfill? It doesn't have to. Fiber New specializes in the restoration of leather, plastic, and vinyl. To get an estimate, connect with us today.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Thank you for calling Penny, PA's official health insurance marketplace. How can I help?
Would preventative care and
Slomsky getting credit for the second assist on the Wineland goal. We had a goal 14 seconds into period 2 from Cooper Powell, and a goal just 9 seconds into period 3 here tonight.
Hold on. Okay, there we go. I was about to say they were about to pull they had 5 players out on the ice for West Allegheny momentarily, but they were able to pull that off.
So the Lopes on the man advantage for the 4th time. Wineland from Figley, and Slomsky officially is how that first West A goal reads. That shot from distance by Steers goes just wide through the screen. Lopes keeping it onside by inches. Dolan wins the puck battle. Steers waiting at the left point. Cross ice to Cooper Powell. Steers with room to maneuver. Fires just wide. Stick side on Sauford, who remains in the game for West A. Jesenowski out in front. Powell fires and scores. Cooper goes full Sid and beats Luke Sauford from one knee. And the Lopes score for the second time on the power play tonight.
That was Powerful shot behind that by Powell for his I believe that is his third of the contest.
You can break out the chapeaus for Cooper Powell.
Yep. The first Hattie of the season, Cooper Powell.
He had Avonworth goals 3 and 4 at the end of period 1 and beginning of period 2, as I said a moment ago. So the Lopes make West A pay on special teams and get that early goal right back. Knocked aside by Sauford. And despite what the scoreboards say here at the Baierl Toyota Ice Complex, it is 8-1 in favor of the Avonworth Antelopes. 14:40 to go in regulation. Lopes, a 15-win team last regular season, in a very tight Class A Blue Division race, switching to the Gold Division this year. Didn't get the home ice advantage, or excuse me, didn't get the first round bye, I should say, in round 1, but didn't stop them. Avonworth rolling to their first ever Penguins Cup crown and on their way to win number 1 here to begin the new regular season. Lopes, 18 shots on goal in period 2, 8 for West Allegheny in the middle frame. Game totals were 28-12 entering period 3. That shot clock now reading 30-14 in favor of the champs. Shields unable to control inside the near circle. Dietrich plays it behind the Avonworth net. Indians making a change behind the play. Lopes break up that chance. And in transition, Shields is unable to penetrate the defense. Romano gaining the red line, sends it around Dadovsky. Once upon a time, Dadovsky had 2 goals and an assist in last year's first meeting with West A. November 18th, Avonworth winning that game by a 6-3 final. Unofficially, that's what he's got tonight. Couple of first period goals and set up Jimmy Shields' marker late in the second period, as we're going to get another penalty just as Jackson Pukailo exits the box. They're going to say icing, actually. There will be no penalty. I stand corrected. West Allegheny guilty of that offense, and we'll face it off inside West A ice early in the third period with the clock running down and winding closer and closer to our nightcap. South Park back in the PIHL, taking on the Mars Planets, last year's Penguins Cup runners-up in Class A. And Mitch, you and I were talking during the break about the number of Class A teams in recent years that have matriculated up to 2A and in some cases 3A even, as we've got a lot of realignment in the PIHL varsity level this year.
Yeah, a lot of teams focused on their youth and their build-up through their middle schools and their junior varsity, and they started to grow the game throughout their entire local association. So you talk about teams, and I'm going to say it right now, moving up from single A to triple A, first game for Fox Chapel. It's a rough trial by fire for the Foxes as they trail Thomas Jefferson 9-0 at Ice Castle. That's in the third period right now in their debut in triple A for a while. But, you know, some of those teams, you graduate goaltenders, you graduate players that, you know, and then you move up because of the formulation and such. But they're a team that did do throughout the years. Like no more than 5 years ago, they were 2-14 heading into that, you know, through that season. They rebuilt through single A, went up through double A, ended up, you know, moving into double A, running double A for a couple years, and then all of a sudden they are moving into the triple A level. On that front, you also notice South Fayette, Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Regional, all teams that were in single A no more than 6 years ago. These are teams that built their youth up and then brought it up throughout the system and weren't afraid of moving into these higher levels. Of course, when you have those promotions, you have attrition. Teams like Cannon Mac and Butler, who had a hard time competing in AAA for years, they moved down. They were able to move. They're in single A this year. A team like Bethel Park Cathedral Prep, Penguins Cup champions in Double A last year. Oh, and we haven't.
And tempers boiling over in the meantime with 10:24 remaining in the third period. Fans off to our left audibly upset as Zandana will feel shame for 2 minutes and then get free, if not more than 2 minutes.
That's
that
the end.
Play just randomly came to a halt as something was happening at the Avonworth blue line, and then something happened behind the play.
To our right, there was a little bit of a scuffle along the near boards, and as the whistle came to that play down here, there was a hit in the far corner with the puck that happened after the whistle that launched Schlowski into the boards. He's up and moving. He's actually back, and he's going to be able to pick up the next shift, but they're going to shuffle this one out.
At this point, you'll wonder if this USA hockey crew is going to, for everybody's sake, think about sending some kids home for the night if this continues, heaven forbid. And Avonworth obviously leading a lot to a little, and from their point of view, they just want to get through this game unscathed, both physically and in terms of not getting lured into getting players suspended for any monkey business.
Right.
And Steve Myers obviously telling his team the same thing, not to take anything away from him, but
and that's unfortunate because you had both referees paying attention to the scuffle on the right whenever the play happened in the corner. That's one of the side effects of having a two official system is both of them taken away from the plays. Anything can happen on the corner.
You did mention that you're going to get a look at the Fox Chapel Foxes very soon.
It'll be a couple weeks, actually. That game, I was going to note that I have Thursday night at Alpha Ice Complex. It'll be a doubleheader as we go down 28 in a way. You shoot down 65-28. And it will be Upper St. Clair and Central Catholic at 7. And Bethel Park and Shaler, aforementioned, the Blackhawks playing in Double A this year against Shaler for the back half of that doubleheader at 9. That'll be me on the call on 10 band 2, I believe, is where I'm going to be.
Correct.
Where I'll live this year. Mr. Kazarowski gave me my my walking orders this year. So this is where you shall live unless you work with Mr. Popchock. You can't move up to the main roster until you've worked with him.
Oh, we're thrilled to have you on the main roster, on the varsity team.
But, yeah. But eventually, I'm going to make my way up there. You know, I have a dream too, just like these kids are making it to AAA, these associations. I would love to make it to 10 band 1, where you guys are right now. But, you know, we'll get there. Don't worry, guys. But no, this contest, you know, you watch that, and you want to make sure that everybody is safe. That's the number one thing. It's just the safety of it. Yes, we're still talking about the adrenaline of the game, and it is the game of hockey. It does get chippy from time to time. Everybody keeps throwing, and there you go. You see a tripping penalty right across. Right in front, West Allegheny. He's going to head off for this one. They're going to give him interference.
And after all that extracurricular activity we saw a minute ago, it was still 5-on-5 hockey, but now it won't be, as Athanas will sit.
And as we're talking about the 10 band 2 channel and me heading out real fast, I do want to plug, I will be making the trip to Morgantown next Thursday for the opening of their new rink down there, plus the celebration of their D2 championship. So we're going to head out, you know, I'm heading out of state for you guys, so eventually I'm going to make that main roster.
And we are excited to see that on 10-band TV. They've got some nice rinks, the West Virginia teams that play a PIHL partial schedule. Some really nice buildings down there. West Banco Arena for one, and WVU with that new rink that you mentioned, which...
It's going to be, it's out in Milan Park. It's supposed to be phenomenal. I was talking to a former coach, Andrew Pyatt. He was with Trinity for a while. He's with D3 West Virginia now. He says it is absolutely beautiful. Everybody talks about it. It's really nice. I can't wait to get down there.
Yeah, the WVU men's team recently christened that new rink with a backyard brawl game against the Pitt Panthers, another local club hockey outfit. So Brian Mitchell will be wild and wonderful on the TenbandTV 2 channel. And Fox Chapel, also an interesting team to watch, obviously, in AAA this year, came painfully close to winning Penguins Cup titles in both 1A and even more so 2A. Well, maybe in 3A they finally get one.
Yeah, they have the same. I think they have the same issue that you were mentioning about what went with these two teams. What was going to go on with the goaltending, the graduation of the goaltending. So,
meanwhile, the Lopes have scored a 9th goal, and they've scored it on the power play with just over 7 minutes to go in regulation, as Richard Mulch nets his first of the new season. Mulch scoring 8 of those goals on Avonworth's blue line last year. Mulch had a big Penguins Cup final as well, just like Dadovsky did. 4 assists. He set up 4 of those Avonworth goals that night against the Planets. Again, we'll be seeing Mars for the first time later this evening as they take on the South Park Eagles, who are back in PIHL varsity after a 4.5 calendar year absence. And what fun that's going to be to call a South Park game for the first time, at least I'll speak for myself, in many years. I can remember in my much younger days some TJ South Park rivalry games in Rostraver that got very intense and were always very well played. So nice to see the Eagles coming back.
Those two teams shared a JV team for a very long time. So, the rivalry was built in with those kids. They wanted to see who was better. They wanted to, just compare to each other once they got to that varsity level. But I was there for a couple of their senior nights down there at Ice Castle before they sent the team off and decided that they were going to rebuild that association. And it's an unfortunate thing you see, but it's great to see that they came back. And they came back. Bishop Canavan leaves for this season under the same thing. They couldn't get enough kids to play. So now you start to rebuild. You start to see what is the future of it. Do you need to play in the JV level? Do you need to fill a couple, there were a couple teams that were consideration this year. There's one that tried to get in late in this season, later than the schedule was made, but they couldn't get back in. I'm not going to name names, things that I knew, but, it's unfortunate. It's just how it works. You think you can stack up or not. Do you want to come up and get beat up every day game, or do you want to compete at JV and see what happens? Deer Lakes a couple years ago, that's what they did to come back up. So, and they're back.
South Park playing in the 1A Gold Division like these two teams, and they will share a division with the Mars Planets this season. Class A Gold this year: Butler, Char Valley, North Hills, Mars, Salem, Plum, the Lopes, West A, Wheeling Central Catholic, Westmont, and the aforementioned South Park Eagles. Your blue division in 1A will be Moon, Cannon Mac, QV, Meadville, North Catholic, Indiana, Montour, Blackhawk, Beaver, Freeport, Hampton, and Richland, Cambria.
It's going to be a fun year in single A. There's one team that you didn't name, and we'll get into in double A, and that was the Wheeling Park Patriots. You talk about these Wheeling teams. They're not eligible for the Penguins Cup playoffs. Well, Wheeling Park wanted a competition. They moved up to the double A level this year. So they're going to get some competition, and they're going to travel a little bit more than they did in previous years. But they're going to get against those greater Latrobes and Hempfields.
Boy, are you right on both counts.
They're going to get those. They're going to get that experience there. They're also, once again, not going to be eligible for the postseason, so that leaves you with 10 in the in double A this year. So it kind of balances out a little bit whenever you look at it from a playoff standpoint. A little bit of a spoiler in double A isn't exactly the worst thing.
And I thought McKees Rocks to the War Memorial was a long drive. Wheeling to the War Memorial, that's a hike even for those bus drivers.
Wheeling to Cathedral Prep in Erie.
There you go.
Because Cathedral Prep is now in that division. That just stretched that double A.
The geographic apex is unbelievable.
It used to be triple A. You just have to go up and down 79 and maybe bounce off to get to Ice Castle. Now you got to go out to Franklin Regional. You have to,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like Richard Pryor in Superman 3 where he's trying to work both the computers at the same time and stretch his arms and legs all the way out.
But that's something you see that it's in action, it's in motion. And you could see these associations, hey, we could strive for this. This could be us. We could be the ones that are moving up in this year. I mean, when they were in there, even West Allegheny 5, 6, 7 years ago, they were in AA because of their success in single A. It was a rough time in AA because they graduated 90% of the players, but it's still possible. It's something you can look at and see how you want to work it. So.
And you were talking about Fox Chapel having a rough go of it against TJ tonight. Well, look at South Fayette playing in 3A for the first time ever last season. They kind of took it on the teeth early in the year, adjusting to AAA, but played well enough to make the playoffs in the second half of the season. And boy, did they ever get hot. And boy, if not for Marshall Hewitt, we'd be talking about a South Fayette Penguins Cup championship.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the bounces in AAA, though. That you're not going to get those major blowouts because now every team has an argument to be there. It's not like, okay, we have this team they moved down the AA. Oh, you get this opportunity to challenge AA. Cathedral Prep could very well have challenged in AAA last season, but no, they moved down. They did exactly what they needed to do, and they're Penguin Cup champions in AA and the state runner-ups. You really can't argue that right now.
What a year for the Ramblers it was.
And Thomas Jefferson, 12-0 over Fox Chapel for that game, by the way.
Well, the Jaguars start out white hot, and they want to win a title in the top flight after winning a Penguins Cup a couple of years ago in Class 2A. And in Class 2A, I'm going to keep an eye on Bethel Park. It's still sort of a trip for me to see the Blackhawks playing down after all these years, but obviously that's a program that's fallen on hard times. They need to reload and build back up, and they accident their way into being rivals with Shaler once again, and more so with Cannon McMillan, one of their fellow South Hills programs.
Cannon McMillan's down to single A, sir.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Yes, Blue Division.
They are in single A this year. But I digress to what you were saying. That is correct. You're creating these new, exciting rivalries, and some of them, Bethel Park, they're rebuilding with Baldwin. They're now going to be able to have that rivalry with Baldwin again. Instead of at a AAA level, now it's at the AA level. You move down, you look at new rivalries with teams such as Hempfield, possibly. I mean, these are football, basketball rivalries you talk about over years. So it's going to be interesting to see. We got about 18 seconds remaining in this running clock. Anything else you want to add?
Well, whatever your team is, if you love watching your team on TenbandTV, there's no better way to support it than buying a 2025-26 sponsorship. Now, through Halloween, we've extended our preseason special to allow you to put whatever ad buys you make toward a broadcast of your favorite team. Quantities are limited. Broadcasts will be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Be sure to email sales@tenbandmedia.com before the next puck drops and tell us your team. Hockey hugs for Hetchko. Andrew Hetchko, the junior, with his first ever varsity win as a goaltender. And the Lopes in front of him as a team certainly earned it. The champs defeating the West Allegheny Indians by a 9-1 final score. And there's that cliche, until someone beats them, they're still the champs. The Lopes still look like champs, Brian Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that was a statement by Avonworth that, hey, don't count us out. We're still there. We're still going to be the team to beat this season. You got to make those early. And unfortunately for West Allegheny, they just happened to be the team they made the statement against. And that's not a knock on West Allegheny. They played a tough game. They stood up to them. They didn't show them any type of remorse or anything. And they did not lay down for the Antelope at this point. But it was a well-fought game by West Allegheny, unfortunately, on the scoreboard. That's the way the cookie crumbles, sir.
Thank you, Brian Mitchell. Thank you, Todd Kazarowski. Thank you, Michael Lyman and the Four Seasons. As always, Mars and South Park. We welcome back the Eagles next on TenbandTV. I'm Matt Popchock, and you're watching PIHL Hockey Night Live on TenbandTV, presented by Craft House Stage and Grill.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh.
Colton Romano around the boards. And up it comes now to Luke Ermlich. Ermlich out in front, shot, score! Crisscross applesauce to Dodovsky, and who else but number 78 opens the account for the Avonworth Antelopes.
It's just about done with it.
81 today in Warrendale, which is where we are tonight for the high. Lopes with his puck across the line, steers with it. He finds metal, but not mesh. Cooper Powell.
Definitely makes it up in his speed. That was an easy, nice little dump-on shot that ended up in a WA logo.
And the Lopes off the draw make it 2-0. Blinking, you missed it. Dodovsky. Betta. Wineland getting it deep. Wineland had a hat trick the last time these two teams met
Interference
in this building. And indeed, we are out of the net. One-timer. Oh, what a save there by Sauford.
I'm saying watch that right to left. He was able to get across nicely.
But to go in the Avonworth power play. It's poked at, it's loose, and put in! Sauford gets overzealous. Cooper Powell does. Athanas, the first one on it, with under 2 to go in the period. Turnover to the Lopes. Such firing on Sauford, and Sauford has to freeze it. Would have been a partial breakaway, but it was not in the stars. Bevan with it. He fires on goal, and Sauford denies him. Ice Complex inside the Galaxy rink, where the Lopes still are in their own solar system. To wit, Cooper Powell goes 5-hole. Have another hot dog. It's 4-0 Avonworth.
I don't know. We still got about 34 minutes in this game. Let's find out.
And a scrap breaking out just inside the West Allegheny blue line. As
great run there by West Allegheny. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Wineland trying to create separation. He goes to goal. He shoots. He's stopped. It's still loose. Oh, what a play there to recover by Hetchko. And Hetchko is still trying to freeze that puck inside the blue pane. And for Slomsky. Slomsky on goal. Loud save by Hetchko. The rebound is still on the goal line. It's sitting there. And boy, did Hetchko get a generous whistle there. Dodge the special teams bullet. And a steal by Jesenowski. Jesenowski to the cage. Baierl. 5-0 Lopes. 7:04 to go in period 2, and mercy does not exist in this dojo. In the middle of a change, Rubalcaba up to Ermlich. Ermlich, left circle, scoring! Luke Ermlich goes bar down. The Lopes have a tutty.
And they could have that conversation around, well, this is how this goal was scored. Well, what did you do here? Where did you step in there? Go ahead.
Jimmy Shields, meanwhile, will score the 7th Avonworth goal, and we will have a running clock on opening night with Totally 80s on Saturday, October 25th. Visit crafthousePGH.com for a full menu and complete calendar of live events. We've got a live event right here, Brian Mitchell, when the Indians have cracked the goose egg behind Andrew Hetchko. Jesenowski out in front. Powell fires and scores. Cooper goes full Sid and beats Luke Sauford from one knee.
What went with these two teams? What was going to go on with the goaltending? The graduation of the goaltending, so.
Meanwhile, the Lopes have scored a 9th goal, and they've scored it on the power play with just over 7 minutes to go. Your team. Hockey hugs for Hetchko. Andrew Hetchko, the junior, with his first ever varsity win as a goaltender. And the Lopes in front of him as a team certainly earned it. The champs defeating the West Allegheny Indians by a 9-1 final score. And
not lay down for the Antelope at this point, but it was a well-fought game by West Allegheny. Unfortunately, on the scoreboard, that's the way the cookie crumbles, sir.
Thank
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh.